And welcome to Tuesdays Live. And if you have any questions, because we're going to be dispelling diet myths today and also talking about dieting. So if you have any questions about dieting, feel free to ask them in the chat and chat amongst yourselves too. But before we get going, because I'm not a doctor, let's get going.
Quick disclaimer. Opinions expressed by Bill Doobie Variety Channel are for education and entertainment purposes only. Viewers are encouraged to further research this topic, so as not to be caught unprepared in the future. Feel free to leave any questions you may have in comments section below.
And like every day, we do our best to get out the good news. I was kind of a little busy this morning because I was finally getting my taxes from my CPA. Not the CPA's fault, mine, because I was not feeling that good last week. But I got them, they're filed, and I'm a happy camper. Yay! But that doesn't have anything to do with dieting or good news. So let's get the good news going. Yay! Here we are. It's time for the good news. In Germany recently at the Aviation Interior Expo, there was a 23-year-old designer that has come up with a revolutionary way so that aircraft passengers in the economy seats can get more space and still pack the same amount into the center aisles. On the larger planes where there's more headroom, he has presented a concept of using double-decker seating, just like you have over in England with the buses, except with the seats on the airplane. That'll be interesting to see what happens. Anyways, and Alejandro Nunez is the designer, and it's a revolutionary new design. It'll be interesting to see about how those seats will meet aircraft safety regulations too. I'm kind of curious as to how that'll be done. But anyways, more comfort, I'm all for it. Also in Germany, a 3,400-year-old sword, bronze sword, was found in a burial site that they were excavating, and it was it was so in such perfect condition that they thought it might be a fake, but they've tested it and it ain't a fake, and it is amazing. The pictures on goodnewsnetwork.org is phenomenal. And inside of that burial was also a man, a woman, a child, several arrowheads, the sword, and some other artifacts. So interesting stuff. Third thing in the news, there's a 90-year-old earns judo belt, and this judo belt is there's only 6 others in the whole United Kingdom that have that level. It's that high in judo, and he earned it at 90 years old. His name is I forgot to write it down. Oh well. Anyways, his name will not be forgotten, but it will. I didn't write down his name, but I got all his bio stuff. So why don't we go with that? He started judo 2 years before I was born in 1955, and he was the runner-up standby for the 1964 Olympics for the United Kingdom. And why I didn't write his name down, I don't know. In June 20th, however, in Florida, a routine diver, while he was doing ocean cleanup, found what looked like a cell phone wrapped in plastic, and it actually was an iPhone, and it wasn't working at the time, but he took it back, charged it up, and once you know it, it actually worked. And he was able to contact the owner and the person and the ocean floor. It was Oceans America or something like that. I can't remember, and I didn't write that one down either. But anyways, these are the same people that have been doing ocean cleanup all over the world, and they've removed 29 tons of plastic from the oceans. Now, part of the reason why there's last two bits of news, and I might as well share this good news. Guess what? I'm finally done with my taxes. Woohoo! That was occupying much of my morning because I had to go over to my CPA and pick up my taxes, and they're done. Yay! That's always good news to have your taxes finished. Last bit of good news is tomorrow at 10:58 a.m. is the summer solstice. And what that is when the sun is at its northernmost point to the equator during the year. And that is the day. And it's also the longest day of the year, which is a lot of fun. Read up on it. The summer solstice rotates, most of us think, the 21st of June, but it goes between 20, 21, and 22 June. And it's been going between that for probably, I don't know, last 100 years. It didn't say that in the article. Now let's get into a little bit more conversation. And we did say that today was going to be about dieting, and let's get right into it just a second. There's a new AI by Google, which actually uses the internet and will query the internet. I said, give me 10 misconceptions about weight loss, because a lot of people have misconceptions about weight loss. And this thing was pretty spot on for 99% of them, which I was really impressed with. Once you start losing weight, you will keep losing weight. This is a misconception, and it even had one thing that I've been teaching people about weight loss and weight gain, actually, too. Because a lot of people think that, once you start gaining weight, it's just going to keep going. And there are plateau weights, and everybody will hit what I call a plateau weight, where you eat, and you can't gain, and then all of a sudden, one day you wake up and you've gained 5 pounds, and then it'll just keep shooting up from there. Some people have one plateau weight, some people will have 2 plateau weights. And, I can't find a better way to explain it, but weight loss, weight gain, they aren't linear. Sometimes they're through the roof. And obesity is not genetic. So all these people who say, I was born this way, sorry guys, it's not genetic. You can't be necessarily genetically obese. You can be a little bit inclined towards gaining weight, but it doesn't mean that you are doomed and you have to be obese. Fad diets work. That is a misnomer, and the reason why the fad diets don't work is they work for a short period of time, and then it gets a person into doing unhealthy eating habits, and that isn't a good thing to have. And for example, like say somebody's on a fad diet, and that one, it makes them too body conscious. Two, it also, they might get hooked on it and become anorexic, where they're just losing all sorts of weight. All right, your diet doesn't matter as long as you exercise more. Well, that's not true. There's a certain point where if you eat too much, you're going to gain weight no matter how much you exercise. And you can eat as much healthy food as you want. That's another misnomer. Healthy food also has calories, and if you eat too much healthy food and you don't exercise, the bottom line is with weight loss is you need to expend more calories than you take in. It's as simple as that, and I think that it said that somewhere in here, but I know I've been saying that for years. And next one, skipping meals. Skipping meals is a good way to lose weight quickly. Unfortunately, you might not, but the problem is when you skip a meal, your body goes into what's called starvation mode. Two things will happen. Next time you eat, you'll gorge yourself, and not only that, your body will be set to take everything in and turn it to fat. So you don't want to be doing that, because your body will utilize that food very efficiently when it gets there. Eating late. Now this was one where I disagreed with the thing. It says eating late at night causes weight gain. You know what? I agree with that. If you eat within 2 hours of going to bed, yes, I think that it will be metabolized, and you will have a slower metabolic rate, and therefore you will absorb it, and more of it will be going towards stored energy. Whereas if you ate and you were awake, you would be burning those calories. Now, Google disagrees with me on this one. They say when you skip meals, your body goes into no, wait a second. I'm sorry, I went off one. The timing your meals does not significantly impact your weight loss. Well, sorry. Yes, I say that you should not eat right before going to bed. Not a good idea, especially not with a burrito or something like that. And as a matter of fact, other diet people say the same thing as that. Like for instance, if you go to the spice diet, you will find that he says that if you eat late at night, a lot of times that's when you're craving salt and fat, which are both not good for you. All right. Doing tons of cardio will help you burn fat more quickly. Yeah, it might, but at the same time, it's not healthy for you to do tons of cardio. And what do they say here? It says, cardio is a great way to burn calories, but it is not the only way to lose weight. Muscle burns more calories at rest than fat. So building muscle will help you lose weight and keep it off. Okay, drinking water. This is another one that I kind of disagree with. Drinking water will help you lose weight. Yeah, they're right about that part. It doesn't necessarily make you lose weight, but drinking water will help you metabolize the food that you eat more properly. And in addition to that, if you don't drink enough water, yeah, you can lose weight, but you can also be like me and get colon cancer, because you need the water to push the toxins through your system and get them out. So I disagree with them there. And then all calories are equal. This is not true. Different foods have different effects on your body. Some foods such as processed foods and sugary drinks are more likely to lead to weight gain. I didn't know that. And the truth is I would have kind of disagreed with that. I think that calories, it's something that you need to keep track of. Now, I also went on and went to some other sites that says it is important to remember that no one size fits all program works with dieting. I agree with that. What works for one person may not work for another. I agree with that. And the best way to lose weight is to find a healthy eating plan and exercise routine that you can stick to for the long term. I totally agree with that. Now, they have health risks for fad dieting, and these are some of the health risks. One is body dissatisfaction because you think that you need to be so skinny and everything else, and then next thing you know, you're anorexic. Uh, and I'm not a medical professional, and I don't have, so take it. There's a disclaimer at the beginning of this broadcast. Okay, greater obsession with thinness in the body from fad diet, lower self-esteem you can get from fad dieting because one thing's with diets, they'll always show you the cream of the crop. It's like, I lost 50 pounds in a month, and I used to be 300 pounds, and now I'm down to 250, and look at me, and well, I believe in just keeping a healthy weight all along and never getting overweight. But risk for developing eating disorders, yes, because when you go on a fad diet, it is literally a fad diet, and usually there's different, it's not a normal eating pattern. High death rates increased with intense calorie restriction. That can happen too. Nutritional deficiencies due to the fact that they imbalance things, muscle loss, and higher risk for heart disease. Okay, so that's that one. And then what did I do? 15 common mistakes that there's an article that I read that had 15 common mistakes people make when trying to lose weight. One is to focus only on the scale. Whoa. Speaking of mistakes, I'm drinking pepper and I just, it definitely got me. Okay, so focusing on the scale. And what I tell people when they're losing weight is, one, make sure to weigh yourself at the same time. And I would only weigh yourself once a week. For me, I weigh myself in the morning, Monday, and that's it. When I wake up on Monday, I weigh myself, and that's the routine that I'm into now. Sometimes I don't even weigh myself for several weeks at a time. All right, eating too many or too little calories, that can happen. Not exercising or exercising too much. People can go one way or the other with any program. Not lifting weights. Well, obviously, whoever wrote this article is into lifting weights. Well, you don't have to lift weights to exercise. I think people mix that up. Choosing low-fat or diet foods. Diet foods, they're like the worst things in the world. Learn to read the labels, because that is where you're going to find out whether the food is healthy or not. And they say this in the article too. Overestimating how many calories you burn during an exercise. Me, I don't even count the calories I burn during an exercise, so I'm not a calorie counter. I'm more of a volumetric person, but I do eat healthy food for the most part. Not eating enough protein. I'm working on that one myself. I'm eating more meat than I did before, and you can get protein from other sources too. There are a lot of beans, soybeans, for example, have protein. Not eating enough fiber. I use psyllium husk every morning to help add to my fiber intake. And fiber is a natural scrub brush for your intestines. Eating too much fat or on a low carb diet. There are some like all fat, all meat diets. I'm not sure exactly what their name is. Eating too often, even if you're not hungry, that can happen. Some diets have you eating all the time. Having unrealistic expectations. This is one of the biggest ones on diets. And the problem with having unrealistic expectations are what happens is when you have unrealistic expectations after about 2 weeks on your diet, you get so mad and you're I only lost a pound. Well, hey, a pound is a pound all the way around, you know. So just you need something that you can stick with. Now, not tracking what you eat in any way. Some people, you ask them what they ate yesterday or even for lunch, they have no idea because they just shoved all that food in as fast as they could. That is not good. And drinking sugary beverages, that's not good either. Not reading labels, I knew they had that in there somewhere. And the other one is not eating whole, single ingredient foods, such as like celery, a carrot, an apple. Those things are great to eat. A piece of chicken without a whole bunch of like sauce on it, and you're all set. Now, I forgot to say this in the beginning, but I'm going to say it now. If you have any questions while I'm during the presentation, I'm also going to be in chat. Love you all. I'm going to turn it back over to this guy now, and he's going to talk more about health, exercise, fitness, because this is Climb Week. And yes, it is Climb Week. If anybody has any questions on that, or if you're watching the replay, um, I really didn't go into my expertise as far as weight loss. But I wrestled from probably 8 years old up to about 24 years old. And wrestlers know how to lose weight. Now, one of the things that I did discover was a way to lose weight that I thought worked great. Well, the problem is that's the one that was probably the most unhealthy, but I didn't know it at the time. I found out later on down the road after I had developed an unhealthy habit. There's like a food pyramid that you have with food, and water is key to digestion. And what I figured out as a wrestler years ago is if you don't drink a whole lot of water, your food doesn't get fully metabolized. And if your food doesn't get fully metabolized, it doesn't get fully absorbed. Well, the other problem is the fact that it doesn't get fully, it takes too long to go through your digestive tract then. And you can have all sorts of intestinal problems, which I did, and eventually, you know, like I said, so that's the long version of the story of why you should have more water in your diet and why you should actually be drinking half of your body weight in water. Now, it's also a good time to be showing, seeing as we were talking about other stuff. Let's go with this just for fun. It's here by popular demand, the BDV shirt and the BDV merch shop. Not only that, we have BDV cups too, all sorts of merch. Check out the BDV Uncle Bill Doobie merch on any of the community walls of my channels. It's on Cook, Camp, Create, Critique, Climb, Lumosity, Thumbnail Hacks. It's on them all. I love you. Check out the link in the description. Also, it's maybe I'll put it down here. I don't know if I have the time. And I'm back. Let's see, other things about diet. Yes, writing things down is very helpful. Anytime you want to change a habit in life, keeping track, say, for example, if you're trying to manage your finances, just writing down every single expense you have, that just that sheer focus of your pencil to paper. And it's the same way with eating. If you are looking at cutting down on the amount of calories that you consume, what better way than to just get a blank sheet of paper? Breakfast. I had two eggs, three pieces of toast, whatever you wrote, whatever you had, and include the orange juice too, because that's high in calories too. It may be good for you, but at the same time, it may not be totally good for you. It's better to have the orange than it is to have the orange juice. It's better to eat the carrot than it is the carrot juice. Carrot juice is very, very high in sugar because what that is they take the in a juicer. I use if you're going to do juicing, speaking of it, because a lot of people are health conscious and they think juice is the way to go. Well, if you juice, uh, a craving some chips are main. Yeah, chips are a good thing. Chips are a craving, and a way to get around craving chips is just get a carrot and slice it real thin and dry it. I mean, then you can have a chip that is actually healthy for you. A perfect example of an unhealthy chip is the those bananas that you get where they're dried bananas, but they aren't actually dried; they're fried bananas, and they fry them and they put like a candy in there too because they're like little pieces of candy. Now, if you take a food dryer and you actually slice a banana and you get the banana and you take all the water out of it, that will get you a really tasty treat. And it's not the healthiest thing in the world, but it's a lot healthier than the fried banana because that had a lot of extra ingredients to it. And yes, Mother Russia. Yay! And actually, the Doobies are from Russia. My great great grandfather immigrated from Russia back in the late 1800s. He came over to escape the Tsar's army, him and his family. And so we know about borscht and other things. And there's all sorts of things slight variations you can do. One of the easiest ways to start a diet is not to have it be a diet at all. Just if you want to be losing weight, just track your food. Track your food first. And another thing that can be done is, even though they say that this isn't related to weight gains, I've talked to dietitians and they will disagree to that. And who knows? It was Bard, which is basically an AI, and AIs don't always get it right, but it was a lot more accurate than my Chat GPT has been. But Chat GPT is very creative. Back to okay, don't eat 2 hours before going to bed. Drink half of your body weight, at least half of your body weight, not in actual ounces, but you take whatever your empirical figure is for your body weight. For example, I weigh 174. So you take half of that number, 174, and that's how many ounces I should have. So I have, somewhere around 85 ounces minimum a day in water enriched, of course. sometimes you can wiggle with that and maybe have coffee too. Although coffee without the sugar and cream and all the other fruit things that people put in there. But dieting is not that tough. We can all do it, and it's not unhealthy. What is unhealthy is yo yo dieting or fad dieting or taking a pill and saying, this is my diet. This pill is going to make it so that I can lose weight. You have to watch out for all of those. Well, thank you to everybody that had came here, and thank you to Mother Russia. Much appreciate you dropping in, and thank you to Bridget D. Thank you to my head moderator, The Virginia Show. It's been great. And thank you to the replay crew. Again, if you have any questions, ask them in the comments down below. And if I don't know the answer, I'll refer you to somebody who does, or I'll look it up and give it to you that way. Love you. Bye bye.